Kia ora and welcome to the second of our 3 short videos introducing you to New Zealand Red Cross's Strategy 2030. My name is Shane Chisholm and I'll be your host. Strategy 2030 sets out some very clear priorities for New Zealand Red Cross over the next 10 years. And in this video we're going to take the opportunity to look at just 4 activities that are already underway within our organisation that reflect Strategy 2030. So sit back, grab a cuppa and enjoy some inspirational and exciting news around activities that are happening within our young people, and also the way in which we are already working together to introduce and deliver new and innovative programs. I'm sure you'll be as inspired as I am.
Hi there, my name is Devon Murphy-Davids and I am the Head of Youth Engagement. As part of Strategy 2030, we wanted to engage with young people around how they saw they could make the most positive impact in the world. We really wanted to hear their wants and needs, and so we undertook a massive survey that's had 850 young people partake in it, and they've shared with us some aspirations and views and things around what really matters to them. We've also undertaken an extensive consultation with other not-for-profits that worked with young people, just so that we could really understand how we might provide the best opportunity for young people to engage with us, but also just engage in being young humanitarian leaders. Now, some of the survey results that we found was very interesting, and I'm just going to share a few of those. One is the 2 top issues for all young people, regardless of background, was climate change and secondly, human rights. Then we saw that over 67% of young people were motivated by wanting to understand how to respond to big global issues like migration or climate change with local action. And then lastly, when we asked questions around who might be interested in volunteering with us or other organisations like Red Cross, it was actually young people that had had a background of care experience, or former refugees, or young people living with a disability that said that they were the most interested for more opportunities to volunteer. We're really excited about the future of Strategy 2030 and how we engage young people. And ultimately, what we're wanting to achieve is an inclusive organisation that partners with young people to innovate for the future, that looks at relevant ways we can engage with young people here and into the issues that matter to them looking forward, develop them as strong humanitarian leaders, building resilient communities here and across the globe.
Hi, I'm John McLean, Auckland Area Chair and a lead on Good and Ready. Strategy 2030 focuses our attention on making New Zealand Red Cross Aotearoa's leading community partner before, during and after a disaster or a crisis. We want more Kiwis to be well prepared and resilient when it comes to facing an emergency. The new Auckland-based Good and Ready pilot has been running for about 10 months. The program looks to engage, equip and encourage individuals to support their communities to be good and ready. To date, it's proven to be extremely successful. We've seen over 800 new people and engaged and trained 70 new volunteers. We're really excited about the potential this program has to engage a broad range of people across communities, to enable them to be really well connected and prepared. Over the next few years, our priorities are to expand the Good and Ready team to cover communities right across Auckland.
Kia ora, my name's Michael Donoghue, Disaster Recovery Manager here at New Zealand Red Cross. And we're on a journey at New Zealand Red Cross, a journey to become more agile so that we can adapt to changing environments and adapt to changed realities. In fact, Strategy 2030 asks us to do this very thing. And during COVID-19, we've had to change so much of the way that we work and the way that we support communities. In fact, as part of the response, we've had to adapt some of the ways that we provide psychosocial support. Some examples of this are the production of 15,000 copies of our PFA guide. Now, working with the Ministry of Health, we're working to get these into the hands of people who are providing support to distressed people at this time. We've also set up our Phone a Friend line, initially internally with our members, just a wellbeing call to check how they're doing. But now we're also doing this in external communities as well. We've also had to adapt some of our psychosocial training. We've put it online, something we haven't done before. But hey, we're having to adapt and respond and change the way that we work. Now, we know that we can adapt, and we've shown that we can adapt. And I guess one of the challenges for us ahead is being able to adapt during relative stable times too. And that's what Strategy 2030 is asking us to do.
Hi everyone, my name is Brooklyn. I'm a disaster welfare and support team member. I think we all want to see New Zealand Red Cross well connected internally, with everyone understanding and enjoying their roles. And I think it's quite important that we all continue to support and celebrate everyone's contributions to those roles. As I said, I'm a disaster welfare support team member, which just means in emergencies, along with my team, I provide support to areas that are needed. With the introduction of COVID-19, I saw that the changed environment had really impacted on my fellow volunteers in the Meals on Wheels service. A lot of them were no longer able to continue contributing to the service due to restrictions from COVID-19. So when the need arose, I, along with so many others, were able to raise their hands and help out. Now I'm a part of a much larger New Zealand Red Cross community and team that are going out and providing those meals. And I've got to tell you, it is one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. I think we need to really continue to support each other as we have been, and just understand that we really are stronger when we're working together.
Kia ora, my name's Rachel O'Connor and I'm the General Manager for Migration. New Zealand Red Cross has always been committed to supporting vulnerable migrants in our community, and during the COVID-19 response we were identified as an essential service. So our team undertook tasks such as making sure that people had enough food, warm clothing, access to medication. It also meant that we had over 300 people volunteering to contact people who had arrived through the refugee quota in the last year on a regular basis, and people were volunteering doing that through the phone, video conferencing, Skype, FaceTime, all types of creative ways to make sure that people felt supported and connected and informed. Being informed during COVID-19 was so important, and one of the tasks that we also did was ensuring that as much of the information that came out from the COVID-19 website, we managed to translate as much of it as we possibly could into the languages of former refugee communities. One of the things that I'm really excited about in terms of Strategy 2030 is that migration is one of the 3 pillars, which demonstrates the need that there is currently in the community for communities, vulnerable migrants such as former refugees who are rebuilding their lives here. But I think that it also speaks to the legacy and the history of New Zealand Red Cross, to the fact that we have been supporting refugees all the way back to the start, to World War II, when refugees first arrived in New Zealand. So I'm looking forward to building on that rich history, the current work that we're doing, and seeing what happens in the next 10 years.
How exciting was that? I love hearing how we're working so hard to make a really positive impact in communities around New Zealand. And I know there's lots of other examples out there at a local level of how we're really starting to realise Strategy 2030. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them in on the email address provided below, and we'll do our very best to answer them. You might also want to share with us some of the things you're doing to make Strategy 2030 come to life in your patch. I'm really looking forward to the future of New Zealand Red Cross. So please join me in our 3rd and final video, where we're going to have a look at next steps in regards to implementing Strategy 2030 together.